Connecting you to Central Oregon news and weather, this is KOHD News at 5. I'm Matt McDonald. Suspicious. That's what investigators are calling a fire that destroyed the inside of an ODOT building. A Madras woman who pleaded guilty to stabbing her 20-year-old boyfriend with a kitchen knife was sentenced today. You can imagine how terrifying it would be to be a pilot sitting in a small plane like this and have a bird hit the windshield. Your voice tonight is about traveling by train. Jay, this might not look like your dream car, but it's generating a lot of excitement down here at the Bend Area Transit. It's one of their 4 new buses. We're here today with John O'Sullivan from Central Oregon Rush Soccer Club. And to an extent, I'm going to take you to task. Now, this is your profession. How many of these things do you do? Isn't it fair to say, well, if we're going to be developing this and it is going to be impacting the highway, you have to do the repairs or you have to do the mitigation? The first day of school in this classroom is scheduled for September 8th. Right now, one of the challenges, getting all the books and supplies. And school organizers know the reality, it may not happen in time. Though this fire never grew to be bigger than half an acre, one of the unique challenges on this fire was access. The Sheriff's Department providing a boat shuttle back and forth for firefighters.
This is KOHD News at 5.
Hundreds of people showed up for a public meeting today to talk about the possibility of the Aryan Nation white supremacist group moving to John Day. That's east of Prineville. KOHD's Lauren Biskin is live in the studio with tonight's top story. Oregon State Police are leading the investigation into the death of a woman last night on Highway 26 in the rhododendron area. The victim has now been identified as 52-year-old Bridget McGowan of Gresham. It's the first of its kind in the state, a regional health authority that integrates mental and physical health issues. If it succeeds here in Central Oregon, it could be used across the state. KOHD's Rachel Azevedo is live in the studio to explain. One step outside, you couldn't have missed it today. All that sunshine. Let's check in with Chief Meteorologist Adam Clark. Oh, you're going on vacation. You've been talking about this trip to Hawaii. Why don't, while you're there, figure it out, and you can do the weather from there for us here.
I'd love to.
While you're on vacation.
To bring work to my vacation. That sounds great, Matt.
I think it's a fantastic idea, Adam.
We would like to see.
Good evening and welcome to KOHD News at 11. I'm Matt McDonald. Will you have to pay to park in 2 lots in downtown Bend? That question took center stage tonight. KOHD's Rachel Azevedo is live in our studio with more. Some good news here. Deschutes County is ranked the 6th healthiest county in Oregon. Well, here's the bad news. Jefferson County, dead last. They say a picture says 1,000 words, right? Right? Well, here's a guy that really lives it. There's a guy from Sisters, just got back from 5 weeks in Haiti, and today he shared some of his stories and some of those incredible photos with our own Stacia Kalinowski. Well, in tonight's You Ask, We Answer, Donnie asks who's responsible for setting Oregon liquor prices each month. Well, Donnie, vendors set the base price, and then the Oregon Liquor Control Commission applies an average 106% markup. Well, you know, some football fans are going to be doing more than just watching the big game this Sunday. They may also be loading up on a few extra calories. Guilty as charged. Well, have you ever taken a picture and it just came out too blurry? You might think you're better off with a tripod. Well, maybe not. Now, let me preface this, folks. I have never done acupuncture before, so we actually look for a tender spot.
I am looking for a tender spot.
Okay. Now, while our butter is melting in the Dutch oven, we'll go ahead and get some of the rest of the ingredients prepared. We're going to chop up 1 medium-sized yellow onion. It's the one workout the whole team was anticipating. It's the running portion of the pole pedal paddle race, and the whole team is excited. One of the surprising things you discover while you're training are the little weaknesses you didn't know you had. For me, it's endurance in my shoulders. In other news tonight, you might think you're getting a good deal buying a foreclosed home, but be warned, some of those homes have been trashed on the inside, and banks may not make all the repairs before putting the house up for sale.
KOHD's Rachel Azevedo gets an inside look. She joins us live in the studio with more tonight.
Is it too early to say summer is here?
Yes. Oh, yes.
Okay. I saw at the end of there some 53s after that 80. So.
That destroyed much of the inside of an ODOT building is now being called suspicious.
Several agencies are now investigating the case. KOHD's Rachel Azevedo is live in the studio with the latest. One big wet mess out there, right? And of course a mess out there right now on roads. The last look at weather for us. Take a look at what's left of this car. You know, we look inside and there's hardly anything left. Everything burned away. Just look at one of the seats. All you can see is the metal frame. And how many times have you done this? One hand on the wheel, one hand on your cell phone. It's not safe. We all know that. All right, Jay, I'm going to need your help with this. Call this one for me. Heads or tails?
Tails every time.
It is tails. Very good, Jay. Now, we all know the coin toss. It's a simple way to settle a dispute. And last night with the Bend City Council deadlock, 3-3, the decision about who would fill the empty seat on the council almost came down to the flip of a coin. The alligator down here at Orchard Park, well, He's seen better days. There's still a little bit of graffiti left here on his nose. It's part of a larger outbreak that's hitting Bend Parks. And if you look across the highway there, you can see the staging area. This is where firefighters are preparing to head into the fire. If you want to see the action on any fire, you head straight to the fire lines. But that has its dangers. We are on the southeastern edge of the Bridge Creek fire. With the exception of thunder overhead, things are quiet.
Right now, it's just basically our concept is we anchor, flank, and hold.
Crews are digging lines around what was once a 2-acre fire. That was late afternoon on Saturday, before unexpected winds pushed the fire to over 1,000 acres in a matter of hours. Now it's grown to over 3,000 acres and is threatening one home, a particularly difficult result for the Forest Service.
This isn't an example that we use as a success story by any means for wildland fire use.
Wildland fire use is a new strategy the Forest Service is using, allowing some fires to burn naturally while being closely monitored. But the Bridge Creek fire took off, and now the Forest Service is working to slow the front lines.
The projected winds coming from the southwest, it's going to push those lines really hard today, or potentially really hard.
It might be hard for them to find a silver lining, but they need look no further than buckwheat.
We saw a handwritten note saying a lost dog. It was a blue heeler with a black eye patch.
Gary Davis found that note while posting fire information around the area to alert campers. And with food tents going up, buckwheat found his way to Davis and eventually back home. And you might be wondering how the owner feels watching his house go down the street. Well, it's time for a little confession. That house is mine, and I'm as nervous as you might imagine. As windy as it is out here in Sisters, some places have had it just as bad or even worse. Investigators believe that Hornseth was standing about 100 yards away, the length of this football field, with a clear view of the trailer when he fired 2 shots, both of them hitting the trailer, one of them fatally wounding Justin Butler. If a tax district is created, parks like Finley Butte here could see the creation of 2 more baseball fields. But for that to become a reality, property owners would have to vote yes in November. Last week's bomb scare at Culver Elementary School has detectives looking for clues. And now they're being joined by 4 young investigators.
We're just looking at the reward money.
Prompted by a $500 reward, twin 11-year-olds Gordon and Brianne Wallinger, 9-year-old Dalton Deason, and 8-year-old Kylie Reed started their own investigation around this cafeteria table. They've searched the playground, finding notes they hoped were clues.
It said, "Please excuse Sky from PE today."
A dead end, but they continued. The investigation turning to a suspicious person Dalton had seen.
We went to go in the middle school to go look for a guy with a black poofy coat.
Unfortunately, all they found was another dead end. Now, if you're thinking to yourself, this whole investigation, it's just child play. Well, perhaps you're missing the point. Gordon, Brianne, Dalton, and Kylie are serious, and they're serious about 2 things: catching the suspect and earning that reward.
Every little detail will matter, and who knows, it might lead to the suspect.
Stephanie Garber, Culver's elementary principal, said if she knows one thing from her years of teaching middle school, it's that kids talk. Having a team listening can make all the difference, and it's already generated one plausible lead.
Me and my friend heard him say that he has no friends, he hates the school, he wishes he can just blow it up.
Brianne reported the comment. The suspect was questioned, but it was another dead end, proving a lesson about investigations.
I learned that it can be hard.
Detectives from the Jefferson County Sheriff's Office are finding it hard too, saying they have yet to identify any suspects. Big changes: housing, gas stations, even stores. The community of Bend uses 4.4 billion gallons of water each year. 2.4 billion gallons a year go down the drain. 2 suspects, both described as white men with short blonde hair, wearing blue jeans and white t-shirts, stole his wallet. By Wednesday morning, it's back to normal in the campground. Here's how it works. The city of Bend can only charge a tax rate of $2.80 per thousand. The fire district, $1.44. If voters approve the annexation, people in Bend would pay both. But the city would reduce its costs by $1.30. The net tax raise, only 14 cents. But what has some taxpayers concerned, in the future, the city can still charge the full $2.80. At that point, collecting the extra $1.30 takes only a vote by city council. Being beside a lake has its advantages. Crews pump water to put out hot spots on a fire they say should never have started.
It's a human-caused fire.
What are you likely to find at one of these sites? I found bottles, cans, cars, tires, and more. In fact, I found enough to set up an entire living room, complete with a couch, coffee table, even a TV.